I could talk about beliefs. And one of the things that like people talk a lot on spirituality is that change your beliefs. That if things are happening that are not going how you like them in your life, if you fix your beliefs, that will change your life. Or another thing people talk about is if you are manifesting adversity or hardship in your life, it must be because you have a low vibration. And I would say that's a bunch of bullshit or horseshit. One of the shits that your beliefs never are actually affecting what you create in your life. Your beliefs never are manifesting adversity for you. That everything happens in your life based on how you are going to grow from it. And if you are going to grow from adversity or from having really challenging situations in your life, that is what the universe is going to give you. Or let's say you are going to be someone who in the future is going to make a big impact on this planet, rather whether that's like helping create a technology that's going to bring a lot of greater support to all on this planet, or you're going to be the CEO of a company, or you're going to move into start a nonprofit or something like that. The universe is going to give you a lot of adversity at before you move into whatever position or role of power that you are going to move into, whether that's a career or just being a community leader or being a well-known healer or being a musician that a lot of people listen to. The universe will give you a lot of adversity so that way you can handle power well, because what you learn about challenging situations or situations where you go, I just want life to be different than how it is in this moment, is that it makes you be incredibly gentle and kind with yourself, and it also helps you incredibly gentle and kind and handle power well. That hardship burns out of you your tendency to be hard on yourself. And if you've ever gone through a situation that feels incredibly tough, or it feels like so much pressure is on your shoulders, what you learn is if life is this hard, I don't need to add any more hard or be any more mean or put myself down anymore, because life is hard enough as it is. And hardship actually teaches you to be the most soft, gentle, and kind with yourself, that then leads you to being the most soft, gentle, and kind with others. And what really kindness and gentleness and softness is maturity. And that Jesus said, like, the meek will inherit the earth. And what that what that really means is that people will walk the earth with incredible levels of compassion, and will lead with power, but they will lead with power softly. And real leaders are gentle and soft and mindful of how their choices and words impact the people around them, impact the people that they are managing or in charge of. And they recognize on some level that the people that they're managing is another lifetime they will live. They recognize that everyone's a human being. Everyone deserves kindness, love, and respect. And oftentimes people are their best selves when you're kind and respectful to them. And if we want people to do well in whatever, whether we're a parent and we want our child to do well, whether we're a manager or like high up in a company and we want the people underneath us to do well, the more we encourage people, the more when people mess up, we make a note to point out just as much of all the things they did right, as well as while still bringing up what they need to work on, the more we can balance out our criticism with encouragement, love, and support, the more people are going to feel supported, and the more people are going to feel like they're good at their job and that they can do a good job at their job. And the feelings is what inspires the actions. And when people feel good about themselves is when people are their best selves in whatever situation they're put in, whether that's a tight deadline at work, whether that's playing playing some type of sport. And just as I was gonna share this in another video and it never came up, but like I used to be really into pickleball, and when I there was a game that is just like I don't know I've yeah it was a couple years ago, but I was playing with someone who had just started playing pickleball, and after every shot they were hard on themselves. They didn't think they were any good, and we were playing against two of my friends who one was like a tennis player in high school and the other one was like okay they were and I took it as a point of every time this person my partner hit a shot, I just take it as a moment to encourage them. I just take it as a moment to point out something they did right on that shot, even if the ball didn't go over the net, or even if they weren't in the right position. And after like two or three times of just saying something nice after every shot they messed up on or didn't quite hit right, they started playing a lot better, and all of a sudden they went from someone who looked like they had no athletic ability to we started winning the game against people who played pickleball like regularly. And it really highlighted to me how much is just based on your internal feelings. Like how much of how you show up in moments is based on how you feel about yourself. And it might not mean that every time you encourage yourself or are loving or supportive to yourself, you're going to win every time. But it will, but oftentimes the people are the most successful are the people when we're aligned in consciousness and not stepping on top of people in order to get where we want, are the people who believe in themselves, and also the people but who take that belief in themselves and encourage and support themselves no matter how they're showing up. Because if you make a mistake, it is the encouragement and support that helps you redirect or adapt the quickest. And if we don't give ourselves encouragement or support or never give ourselves compliment, we're going to end up showing up as less versions of ourselves. And it's why being loving to yourself is so important. If you want to have a filling life, we can't wait around for other people to acknowledge us, to other people to see how beautiful we are, how smart and intelligent we are. We are all beautiful. We are all intelligent. And some people might be better in school and some people might be better at art. And our society or economy oftentimes values the engineers a little bit over the artists. And that's just how our society works right now. That doesn't make it engineers any more valuable than artists. Beautiful art can touch people's hearts just as much or deeper than beautiful art, it can be just as impactful as someone who's good at engineering. And oftentimes people remember the beauty in their life. They don't remember the math problems they were doing in high school or in college. And so if we want to be an artist, can we move towards that? Can we work towards that? And can we help create greater beauty on this planet? Because beauty is important. And the more beauty we bring in the world, the more beauty this world will become. And it's one of the reasons why art is important, because art takes people's pain and it turns it into beauty. And the more beauty is created, there's less pain on the planet. The more we express our pain, the less pain we have within ourselves. The more people see beautiful art, the more people are reminded of the beauty of the world, and the less self-destructive tendencies people will have. And and it's why art is important. And if we want to be an artist, if we want to do something that's a little outside of like what career paths people typically follow in our culture, in our society, can we go for it? Because if you feel inspired to do something a little different than how everyone else does it, that might be the urging and inklings of your soul and not just some random idea. That might be your guide saying, hey, your most filling path would be a professional artist, would be a healer, would be doing it, taking a little bit of an untraditional career path. And if we feel excited about following that, it's usually a good sign that we should move in that direction. And we might have to work 9 to 5s. We might have to do other side jobs while we're trying to build a career, because building careers take time. Babies are not born overnight. Babies take 9 months, and it's the same. It's the same with any type of career you're taking. And some maybe are like more like whale babies or like different species of babies that take a lot longer. I don't know. I think whales take like 2 years to like give birth. Maybe that's not right, but like like I remember I was listening to this like ad on YouTube and it was about a writer and he was teaching a master class on writing, and he like was a professional author and like had written a bunch of books that were successful. And he said that he wrote every day for 15 years before he got his first book published. And if it's something that really lights you up and excites you, it's going to be worth, like, however long it takes for you to become successful at it will be worth the journey, because it will be something you enjoy doing, whether success is here or not. Just like for me, like I enjoy making these YouTube videos, whether people watch them or not, because I like watching them. I watch them and I go, dang, that was a really good message. And it's fun for me. And whatever we want to do in our life, whatever career, we know it's aligned with our purpose or why we're here on this planet. If it's fun, if it's exciting, and whether we enjoy doing it, whether people look at it or not. I talked about beliefs, and I think what I wanted to talk about beliefs is like your beliefs only matter when you listen to them. Your beliefs only matter in life. Your vibration only matters in life when you are taking your vibration or your beliefs as a reason why you can't achieve what you want to achieve. If you go, oh, I'm a low vibration, so that means I need to up level my vibration before I can achieve what I want, before I can create what I want to create, before I can have better friends, before I can live in the place of my dreams. That's bullshit. If you want to have better friends, it's not about your vibration. And if you're watching this video, you most likely are a conscious being who's already aligned themselves with some level of light. And if you're aligned in the light and you're already working to become better versions of yourself, you're already aligned in growth, then your vibration really doesn't matter at all. What really matters is your action steps. Your beliefs do not matter unless you listen to them and they prevent you from taking action steps. And the people that believe that their beliefs matter are people who spend more time in their mind and their heart. And that imbalance of being more in their mind and their mind having power over them is why they believe their beliefs matter or affect their life. But if you are growing plants and you thought these plants aren't going to grow, whether you think that or don't think that, your plants are still going to grow as long as you water them and make sure the soil's fertilized and they have enough sunlight. And it's the same with whatever you're trying to create in your life. And people think I need to change my beliefs. And what if your beliefs are actually coming. What if your doubt, your being not enough, being unworthy, which is oftentimes what people think is stopping them from living a better life? It only stops you if you listen to it. But what if that's your inner child? And oftentimes we only got our attention from our parents growing up when when our when we acted out, when our parents only paid attention to us when we were a problem. And so then our inner child within us says, I only get the attention of my adult self, or of Luke or whoever's watching this, when I act differently than how they want me to act. And I know that they think that if they doubt themselves, they aren't going to be able to create the life of their dreams. So I'm going to doubt myself all the time and fill their mind with doubt. So that way they at least pay attention to me, because I only get attention when I'm a bad child or when I'm a problem. And that's literally why you doubt yourself. That's why, one of the reasons why you feel not good enough. And the other reason is just a lot of people told you you weren't good enough, or you had parents when you wanted to move in a different direction than how they wanted you to move. They said, that's not going to work. That will never happen. And then we replay that same loop in our mind as adults. But our inner child, when it's acting different than how we want it to act, thinks the only way it's going to get loving attention is by being a problem. And so if you just took time to say, I love the part of me that doubts, I love the part of me that feels not good enough, and I have faith that I can achieve what I want to achieve, all of a sudden, any types of doubt, any feelings of unworthiness, any feelings of not being enough are neutralized. Or if you could even just say, I have faith I will achieve what I want to achieve. I have faith that I can live my life, live the greatest dreams of my life. And that cultivating the opposite of doubt, which is being enough, which is having faith that you can do what you want to do, starts to resonate your energy field more with that. And when we resonate ourselves more with love, all the hate, all the judgment starts to be cleared out, because it is not resonant with love. And one of the fastest ways to heal is just cultivate the opposite. If you feel unworthy, just affirm to yourself more often how enough and worthy you are. Encourage yourself more often. Tell yourself how beautiful and worthy of love you are, or that anyone would be lucky to get to know you. Anyone would be lucky to be able to hear you play a song, hear you teach a talk. And if you just said that to yourself more often than not, or anytime you heard doubts or heard I'm not good enough, you just took it as a moment to say, I am enough and I got this, you would start to resonate your body and energy field with more of being enough, and the feelings that aren't resonant with anymore, which would be unworthiness and not being enough, would slowly over time start to heal, because you'd be resonating with something that they are not like. And the more you become unlike your pain, the less pain has anything to teach you or anything to attach itself to you. And that's like what real cord cutting is. Real cord cutting is if I become different than the people that hurt me, if I show myself greater love, greater worth, make choices different than how they chose, which means if they were alcoholics, I'm sober. If they didn't exercise, I'll become fit as a fiddle. If they never played music or never expressed their feelings, I'll make sure to express my feelings regularly in healthy outlets, whether through poetry, through painting, through music. As we become different from the people that hurt us, we heal the pain they put in our body by being awful, abusive, and traumatic towards us. And it's just by cultivating the opposite. And when you cultivate greater love, all that's not love within you gets cleared away. And the one time I'd say where we should be mindful of beliefs is when we say those beliefs either to ourselves or to others. Like, and something I've had an experience of is like when I like, there's been times when I've been talking to family members of ideas I have where I'm like, I think this is really a good idea. I think this would help get more people to, I think this would be a right step. I think this would help get more people to watch my YouTube videos. And sometimes those family members have said, that's not a good idea. You shouldn't do that. And that's made me doubt myself a lot more. And then sometimes not acted on my inspiration. And so the one thing about beliefs is if we are thinking something, can we try our best to not reinforce that by saying it to ourselves? Where if we think we suck, say, I love the part of me that sucks, and we don't need to tell ourselves we suck. Or if we think we're ugly, we don't need to tell ourselves we're ugly, because the more you put it out in words, words have power. Words have power. Words influence you, whether someone else says it or you say it to yourself. And if you're reinforcing negative things about yourself by saying that to yourself, that will influence your choices. That will cause you to doubt yourself more and be more likely than not to listen to that doubt. And one other thing I wanted to talk about is like a lot of times people think that they manifest through thinking about things. And I would say most of the time, you're not going to create something by thinking about it. And I've heard other teachers teach that if you're really afraid of something and you constantly think about that, or you constantly tell yourself that you're going to die young, you're going to get cancer or something like that, then, and putting it into words, I would say make things a little bit more likely to happen. Doesn't mean they will happen, but it makes it a little bit more likely to happen. And I used to tell myself I used to say this to myself. Like, I mean, I have come from like having a fair amount of self-hatred. And when I was upset at myself, I'd just say, fuck me in my face. I would say that a lot. And did anything happen bad because of that? No. So it's something to be aware of, but when we're saying things into words, words have power. And so can we be a little bit mindful of the words we say to ourselves? Because it will, at the very least, change your own self-image. Whether even if it's negative words to more of a negative self-image, or positive words to more of a positive self-image. And you can literally change how beautiful you see yourself just by saying different words to yourself. But most of the time when we're thinking about things, it doesn't create anything in our life. Our mind, our action steps create our life, not thinking about things. And I heard this story of a radio host. He told this story once, and I think it really highlights this kind of perspective. Is he had like a neighbor who, when he was like, this radio host, he was talking about when he was in high school, like coming of age, and he had this neighbor who he found really attractive. And every day, or a lot, he would, and I'm paraphrasing, he would fantasize about her parents were gone. It was just him and her in her house, and they started hooking up. And he thought about that like a lot for months. And then one day, the exact scenario that he imagined happened, but instead of them hooking up, he just like left and nothing happened. And I think that's a beautiful analogy for trying to manifest with our mind. Is if we're only trying to manifest with our mind and not taking action steps of like getting to know people, getting more comfortable with them, when the moment, if we put enough energy into that and actually create that, which on our planet, which is a little dense, like dense visualization takes months. It does not happen overnight. You're not going to be able to visualize most of the time, unless a miracle happens. You're not going to be able to visualize yourself back into perfect health and heal instantaneously. And visualizations do have power, but it takes a long time because of how dense our planet is and for how little people are aware of light. On other planets that are like highly evolved and people are really aware of their power and their light, healers can literally just visualize people back into perfect health, and those people instantly shift back into perfect health. And also on those planets, people probably don't get as far out of balance as they do here. So something else to be aware of. And when you visualize your, like, let's say you have an injured ACL, which I have, and you visualize it being repairing itself, that will help your body repair a little, like a micro amount. But it would take months for it to fully heal through your visualization. Something to be aware of. And even if we create something by pouring enough energy in our mind into it, if we're only thinking about it and never actually taking the action steps we need to take to actually make what we want happen, like for that radio show host, it would have been getting to know his neighbor better, like spending more time with her, getting more comfortable with her, actually seeing if they had like resonance enough for them to like both desire physically hooking up. Like if we're only fantasizing about it, we're not going to actually be able to step into the moment when we create that moment. And for me, like I used to fantasize about in high school about having sex with a bunch of different people all the time because I was using pornography, and like pornography would just create incredible levels of fantasizing about like having sex with people. But you can and I fantasized about having sex with people for like years and nothing ever happened. None of the situations I fantasize about ever created. And the question is that in alignment with your highest good? Because you're not going to be able to create something by visualizing it if it's not in your highest good or in the highest good of the people around you. And it's why when people pray for the healing of another, like there's a lot of outside examples in this one, but I remember I was reading like a thing about like I think it was Mormons or like some type of like religious where they gave birth to a baby that was either stillborn or like was not healthy when it was born, and they prayed for its healing, and the baby died, or the baby died. And the reason why the baby wasn't healed through the prayers is because it was not in alignment with the highest good for that baby to live, which is a hard truth to swallow. But sometimes people are going to grow more from tragedy than they are from fully healing or fully or or for all the situations working out perfectly. And we learn that sometimes endings are just as important as births. And sometimes we're going to need to go through tragedy to become the best version we are going to be. And sometimes awful things are going to happen in our life, to the people around us, to the world. And the question isn't so much of can I control outcomes, but how do I care and love myself no matter what I'm going through? And even if I don't have that much more time on this planet, can I take the little time I have to love and appreciate my life as much as I can? Because it is the love and appreciation that gives our life meaning. It isn't what happens. And what you think about things most of the time, 99 what you believe about things does not create your life. The action steps you take create your life, and the more you can take action steps of what you would think would help you heal your body, help you live the life of your dreams, help you have stronger community, help you connect with people you desire connecting with, the more likely the universe will give you opportunities for your life to change for the better. And the more we can take our beliefs as something to love within ourselves, the more we can take, maybe we feel like we're a low vibration, as something to love and not something to judge about ourselves, the more we're only going to be moved into greater love. And when we're thinking about when we're thinking about the when we're thinking about like our beliefs, your mind is oftentimes craving the love of its soulmate, which is your heart. And we become the most clear on the action steps we need to take by taking the love from our heart and bringing it up to our mind. And more often, when we feel like our mind is really noisy or loud, instead of saying, I have a monkey mind, I can't be thinking this, go away thoughts, going, I love you thoughts, I love you mind, I love you fantasies or sexual fantasies, I love the part of me that's constantly in the future, constantly in the past. The more we bring love from our heart to our mind, the more harmonious, peaceful, and serene our mind becomes. And the more we take the logic and reasoning from our mind and we bring it down to our heart, the more we know which impulses we should act on, and what impulses are just impulses or things that actually wouldn't serve our highest good, because 93% of the time, your ideas, your impulses that are actually aligned in your highest good are going to make logical sense, are going to long term make sense, and are going to be rational and reasonable. And if they don't feel rational or reasonable, or you feel like you're putting yourselves in situations where there's a lot more opportunity for you to be hurt, that's probably an impulse that you're not meant to act on. And even when we're thinking about trying to heal our body, and I'm someone who, like, I have a knee injury, shoulder injury, I have some symptoms. Our Western society focuses on trying to destroy illness or trying to force things to heal by cutting the body open, putting a couple of staples in. Right? Our Western society does not honor the cycles of growth, does not honor the cycles of repair. It just tries to force everything to to happen instantaneously. Like if you tear your ACL, they stitch up they put a new ACL in there, nail it to your bones, and they go, there you go. Instead of instead of nurturing your body's own repair process. And it's the same with like things like cancer. Like oftentimes they try and fight cancer by trying to destroy cancer, but cancer is destruction, and you're playing into that disease's game. And we don't heal, like angels don't create healing in your body by trying to destroy disease. And I'd say, like, there's going to be some exceptions, like parasites. It's probably good to take something that helps kill parasites or clears parasites out of you. But a lot of times your body heals by you just cultivating greater well-being within yourself, and that takes time, and that's not a sexy solution, but it's usually how healing works. Where if you have an area of your body that's healthy, what would it be like to say, can I look at this disease in my body as a reason to create greater harmony and balance and well-being in my life? And what are the things I can change? If I can I eat a cleaner diet that creates greater health and well-being in my body? Can I exercise more often that would create greater health and well-being in our body? And the more we support the health and well-being of the system, the more the system will have the power to heal itself. And it's the same with when we're thinking about healing this planet. The more beauty we create on this planet, the more art we share with the world, the more we make spaces and our home and our community is beautiful, the more people are going to remember beauty and the less people are going to remember their pain. And oftentimes healing is just forgetting, like helping your body forget the pain and the illness within it by surrounding it more and more with greater well-being and beauty. And whatever ends up happening will be what is in alignment with our highest level will of our soul. And we all die when we're meant to die. We all are living when we're meant to be alive. We're all on this planet because our soul's highest will was to be on this planet at this time. You are never where you're not meant to be. But we do have the chance to influence a little outcomes, and we do this by, like, just like if you ate a bad diet for 50 years, that's going to shorten your life, rather than eating a clean, healthy diet and exercising regularly. And when we're thinking about how to help heal our body, can we look at what are things I could do that would help create greater well-being, create greater beauty, create greater health in my body? And can I make those choices even if I'm not really sure what's happening or what these symptoms are, or how I'm going to get fully back to health, like to being fully healthy again? Because well-being is like a wave that will carry you where you need to go if you're willing to take the time to cultivate it. So I hope that helps. Thank you for listening, and I hope you all have a great day. I love you with all my heart. Okay, bye.